That shit turned into the internet.
Bro. Alright, bro.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, I added a new topic in there, man. I know y'all got something to say on this.
Pick me.
Just go ahead.
Is vintage a trend or an investment?
Ooh.
You want to go first? I can go first.
Go.
You know, I got the nice piece on.
Get some background about what y'all.
But no.
Peace on too. Don't play me.
Yeah. You want to get some background of like what we do related?
Like what what y'all do and.
Yeah.
Why are you qualified to?
A little,
Yeah.
a little promo real quick.
Nah. So I have my own online vintage shop. So basically, I sell rare one-of-one vintage clothing. Nice stuff, like kind of like you see on now, the Jeff Gordon piece, pretty nice. But just like rare stuff, maybe like sports, streetwear, hip hop stuff, but like cool stuff that that people really like. But I have my own online shop, and I kind of resell it on third-party sites as well. But that's why, like, I know a lot about like thrifting in the vintage world. Yeah. But is vintage a trend or an investment? I would say it's both. It depends on how you jump into it. It's definitely a trend right now, just because right now you see a lot of like, you know, rappers, a lot of high level figures wearing vintage clothing, and you see a lot of companies trying to like create fast fashion because of like they try to create pieces related to like fast fashion because of vintage. Mm-hmm. But it's a trend. It's a big trend right now. And it's an investment. It can be an investment how you jump into it. So like me, it's an investment. For me, I have a business related to it. So, you know, what I kind of do is so when it comes to it, I thrift and I find those items, right? Mm-hmm. Those items are cheap. So you can go to I'll go to a local Goodwill and get some for like $2. Like this right here, I got for like $4, right? And this is rare. You won't see this anywhere. And then what you can do is you can just resell it for maybe like, just depend on how much it's worth, like $20 to $30 to $40. But it could be a big investment if you start a business with it. If you want to just resell as a side hustle, just to have more money in your pocket. Or what I like a new thing I kind of made up in my head, you can make a vintage savings account. So say like you invest, you like to thrift, you like to, you know, find nice items, and you just want to resell it, and you have a business account connected to just connected to where you resell. It can be like money can add up in that account. It can be like a savings account. So what you can do is you can buy items, resell them, and then not touch that money, and it can just add up for maybe months to a year. But no, it's both. I would say it's a trend and an investment. You can touch on it too.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You forgot the plug. It's called Area 95.
Oh, I didn't even say that.
ShopArea95.com. Thank you. You can go to my Instagram and click the link in my bio.
Yeah. That's what it's called.
So, I would agree it is both a trend and an investment. And trend, he hit it right on the head. Like, everybody's wearing it right now. Mm-hmm. You can't get away from it. Fashion Nova and all those places are trying to make shirts that look vintage or, mm-hmm. you know, those graphic tees and whatnot. But the investment part, the part that I feel like is an investment too, outside of it being a business, is it's an investment to yourself in a sense of saving money. Like if you're thrifting and you're getting these unique pieces, you're establishing your own style. One, you're not a copycat, which I hate. Like I hate people who dress just like everybody else. Like that's just so annoying. Like to have the same style is one thing, but to literally try to be somebody else is annoying. It's another. But it's an investment in yourself. You're creating your own style. You're thrifting your own views and what you see and what you like, and you're saving money at that. It's saving the planet. Okay.
Yeah, sustainable.
Upcycling. It's very sustainable, mm-hmm. and it's just a good way to like. It's like one of those things you put good in, you get good out, and I feel like it's a really good investment, especially because now you have these really unique pieces, and let's say you don't want to wear them the next season or whatever, you know, then you go to that resale stage. Especially if you're not trying to have a resale business, you can still resell something of yours and know that it's worth something. I feel like, for example, you know, we have places like Plato's Closet, and you sell all your stuff. and you bring your Hollister jeans there and all your stuff that you bought last season and it doesn't fit anymore, and they just kind of give you a couple dollars because it's fast fashion. It doesn't really mean anything. They're just giving you something so they can put it on their rack and sell it for something. But for vintage, if you're going and you're spending less money because you're thrifting, when you go to resell that, it's still worth something. It's not like you can just go drop it out in your closet and they give you $3.
Yeah.
Like, you can go look up what the item is, what the brand is, and know that you have one left out of the 5 that were made, or whatever the case may be. And it's worth more, and it means more. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like you cannot go wrong with vintage. And that's pants, shoes, shirts, jackets, everything. Like, anything you could possibly want, go to the
It's so broad. I mean, like, with Shop Area 95, we sell more like sports, hip-hop, more streetwear type of stuff.
Definitely
but
more streetwear stuff.
There's so many different things when it comes to vintage.
So much
and vintage is bigger than clothing, too. There's items, you can
get memorabilia.
Yeah.
Then, the action figures, and you
anything.
You get anything. You
Books,
get
furniture.
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's people out there that, like, upcycle it and make it something even better, and then it could potentially be worth more, because it's like when you remodel your house, you sand down the counters, you put new, epoxy, marble, whatever, and it's like, it's worth more now, and people do that with vintage. Like, there's this one girl I follow, oh my god, I don't even know her name, but she can take anything from the Goodwill and make it freaking high fashion. She needs to have a runway show. I have to find her Instagram. But it's like crazy what people can do and what they can make. Like,
yeah, I honestly don't know if vintage has any cons. Like, it has so many pros. Like, I don't know.
There's a big stigma on wearing, like, used clothing.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people that doesn't go to the thrift store because it's used clothing, literally, you're garbage.
That's a whole, that's you, though. Like,
right.
That's like a
you have a washing machine, okay?
Yeah.
You have a washing machine, you have cleaning products, you'll be alright. But I just feel like it's so worth just taking a look, even if you don't want to jump all the way in and get your whole wardrobe. Just going to grab, like, one thing, a shirt, a pants, something, just to, like, dabble into it and know that you're the only one with that, or one of 10 with that. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, it's like,
honestly, it's better than, like, you go to PacSun and you get, like, that tee that they just reproduced, and they have, like, 40 of them, and you're gonna walk into the mall and somebody else got the same shirt as you, and you're like, what the fuck?
I hate that shirt.
I hate that.
The cool thing about vintage is it's gonna be a one of one. Like, I'm not gonna see nobody with this on. Like, it's gonna be rare. And then if I do see somebody with that on, we're not gonna have it on at the same time.
Right. And I feel like vintage clothes inspires, like, other styles. Like, let's say you go to a vintage store or a thrift store or whatever, and you don't want to buy anything. Vintage clothing inspires you to get certain styles. Like, vintage clothing right now, what's popular right now is 90s clothing, 2000s, Y2K, and all that. That's what's popular right now. And so let's say you go to the thrift store and you don't want to buy any of it. You're still going to look for that when you go to Forever 21 and all that. So vintage literally has no cons, because any way you look at it, either you're inspired by it, you're looking for it, you're buying it, or you're selling it.
Yep.
Like, that's just all it is.
And last thing I want to say, vintage is never going to go anywhere, because fashion is a circle. It just recycles. People keep wearing the same shit. Like, go back to the 70s, the 80s. Fashion just recycles.
Actually, speaking of 70s, that's back now too. I didn't mention that when I was, like, going through it, but a lot of people are wearing shit from, like, bell-bottom jeans
I've seen that.
right now. Bell-bottom jeans are it right now. Colorful tie tops, the tie-dye, tie-dye is crazy right now.
Like, you seen what I had on, the Harley Davidson? That was a vintage piece, tie-dye. But yeah, man, if you want to get this nice crew neck, shoparea95.com.
Oh, well, you can't see the cool part of my shirt. Should I turn around?
Well, you ain't selling that.
I'm not selling it, but it's still a vintage piece. It's mine.
But yeah, that's how I would answer that question, bro.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm curious to know a little bit more myself, because I'm like, what type of resources would you be able to use to determine whether or not something is, worth value? Like, especially when it's just like something that you're seeing when you're at Goodwill or something.
When
and you're
you
like,
first start out, Google's your best friend, for sure.
Yeah,
Because
really.
we didn't know anything when we first started. But a quick Google search of just the brand name or shit in Google nowadays, you can type in the exact item, black shirt with pink cat on the front and the back. Like, you can figure it out. So Google's going to be your best friend when you first start. But after a while, when you get into the hang of things, you'll know something is worth something by the way that it's stitched, by who the tag person is. Like, we got Hanes and all kinds of shit on normal tags from the last couple of 2000s. But if you see a tag What's that one tag name? The old t-shirt brand. The tags are beige. Is it
like the Fruit of Loom?
Oh, there's this one too. Delta.
Yeah.
They don't make Delta shirts that much anymore. Like you'll start to notice certain things have changed over time. Stitching is different on shirts nowadays than it was before. So you'll start to pick up on those things. That's but in the beginning, Google the hell out of everything.
Yeah, Google.
Google.
It's no different. Like say somebody, it's no different from like real estate or somebody trying to sell a house. They look at comps. When you Google, you go to Google and you'll look up the item that you think is a vintage item, and then you kind of see what are people reselling this for. Is this, should I buy this? You know, it's $2, but you know, and it's reselling for $40, and then you should definitely buy it. But if it's like reselling for like $6, don't do it. But you just Google it, and it'll bring up those sites like eBay, Depop, you know, Poshmark. Those are just like reselling sites where you can just compare the prices to what you should sell it for, and that's how you see the value.
And you can also see what people are doing with it. Like, let's say it's like a graphic tee, and it feels vintage and it looks vintage, and it may not be, but you Google it, everyone's been like cutting it and dyeing it. Then it would be worth still getting, even though it's not worth necessarily anything. It's not a real vintage piece. Yeah. Doing that tie dye or some kind of home switch to it would still give it some value because it's trendy right now. So it's just like Google the hell out of everything, and then just notice like small details like the tags, the sleeves, and all that kind of stuff. You'll start to realize like, oh shit, this is old. And
YouTube University. People, your favorite YouTuber is doing a thrift haul. Right. They're doing a Goodwill thrift haul. So just check those out, and they'll show you how to do it.
YouTube.